Thank you for stopping by the Server Supreme. On the menu, we have the secret cousin of Fallout and Baldur's Gate. So let's jump right in, and I hope you enjoy. Did you know that the developers from the game studios that helped create the classic RPGs, Baldur's Gate and Fallout, had a secret lesser-known cousin game that came out in 2001? Interplay and BioWare produced the classic and iconic games Fallout and Baldur's Gate in the 90s. BioWare being the main publisher for the Baldur's Gate series, with the help of Interplay, specifically the division of the company known as Black Isle Studios, for the development of the original Baldur's Gate. Black Isle Studios was also responsible for the development of Fallout 1 and 2. So Black Isle Studios was the link between these two games, officially published by two separate companies. Interplay for Fallout and BioWare for Baldur's Gate. A link, I believe, not too many people know about. Unless, of course, you have done your homework. As of today, the most recent games, Baldur's Gate 3, Fallout 4, and 76, are produced by different companies. The Fallout license was eventually purchased by Bethesda on April 7, 2007 from Interplay for $5.75 million US. And by January 19th of 2012, amid legal and financial troubles, Bethesda would gain all rights to the Fallout name and intellectual property, making all original games and future ones property of Bethesda. As for Baldur's Gate, a number of titles would be produced by BioWare, along with the collaboration of other studios, such as Black Isle Studios for the original, and the most recent, Baldur's Gate 3 by Larian Studios. As for the Black Isle Studios, who worked on both original games, they would be shut down by Interplay on December 8, 2003 because of Interplay's financial troubles. Now, in between the chaos at Black Isle in 1998, before it was shut down in the years to come, three Interplay employees, Tim Kaine, Leon Boyarsky, and Jason Anderson, the three key developers of Fallout, had a falling out at the end of the production of Fallout 2 because they were unable to come to an agreement with Interplay about the future team structure. They left Interplay to form their own game studio that felt more like the old Interplay, producing role-playing video games for PC, calling their company Troika Games. So, they started designing a new PC RPG. A RPG that would lead me to make this video over 20 years later. So now that we have the backstory on the relationship between Fallout and Baldur's Gate, along with the relationship they share with the development studios that worked on them, do you have any idea on what the secret cousin might be? In 1998, Troika started designing a steampunk fantasy crossover role-playing video game named Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura. Imagine a place of wonder, where magic and technology hold equal sway, and an adventurer might just as easily wield a flintlock pistol as a flaming sword. Arcanum is the world where all choices are yours, where fantasy meets an industrial revolution. The game was launched on August 21, 2001, and received generally favorable reviews after launch. It sold 250,000 copies after its original release and was Troika's best-selling game. An 81% on Metacritic, IGN gave it a 90 out of 100, and the lowest score being a 6.75 out of 10 by Game Informer. And in 2016, it was released on Steam, and as of today, has sold an estimated 90,000 plus copies since its release on the platform, and is still positively reviewed today, having mostly very positive reviews on Steam. Most reviewers praised its character creation, open-ended gameplay, and the size of the game world. It had a rich and complex story, and the world was very responsive to the type of character you decided to create, with its biggest criticisms being the graphics and user interface. But that didn't stop it from winning the Role Playing Game of the Year award from PC Gamer US, RPG Vault, The Electric Playground, and IGN in 2001. So with all these reviews, is it a good game? Does it hold its own compared to Fallout and Baldur's Gate? I will give you my own personal take on the game, and I suppose you can decide for yourself. Now, some may think I have a biased opinion because I'm blinded by nostalgia, but that's okay. I've heard it before about other games that I still play to this day, and I'm sure I will again. And it isn't stopping me from playing this classic, and it should never stop you either. But I will try my best to not let it affect my overview of this game 23 years later. So let's start at my favorite part and the beginning of almost every RPG. Character creation. You can start your quest in a few different ways. The easiest would be to choose a pre-generated character. There are 12 to choose from, 4 female and 8 male, ranging from the classic melee warrior or archer to necromancers and gunslingers, with unique backgrounds for each character. Simply select the character you desire, and the game starts. Going down this path will also use the auto-leveling function, and will allocate all character points earned when you level up. This is personally a path I don't choose, but may be ideal for others. Fully customizing your own character is really where I think this game shines. Be aware, all races are available to male characters, but females are limited to human, elf, half-elf, and half-orc. I usually start with race, humans being the default with no real benefits or drawbacks, and have a max of 20 skill points in each of the 8 stats, where others, like half-ogres, may have a max of 24 strength, but suffer a max of 16 intelligence, although skills can be pushed beyond their max via spells and items. Some races are better suited to magic, and others technology, but most races can go either way, such as humans, gnomes, halflings, half-orcs, and half-ogres. With the exception of dwarves being very inefficient at spell casting, as it will cost twice as much fatigue as normal to cast spells. And elves and half-elves have a penalty to all tech skills. You will notice that a large theme in this game is that magic and technology are like opposites that don't attract. Depending on which you want to follow, if any at all, those paths will have benefits and consequences for each in their own respective ways. Then, if you desire a custom background, which is completely optional, you can choose between 64 of them. Some are simple, like the inheritance background, trading a point of willpower for an extra 400 gold at the beginning of the game, and others are more complex, such as Miracle Operation, which trades bonuses of +3 intelligence, +3 charisma, and +5 to perception, for drawbacks such as -3 strength, -3 dexterity, and -5 constitution. Some backgrounds are also limited to certain races and genders as well, so keep that in mind. So you really can make some pretty interesting combinations when it comes to your character. Some combinations can make you an absolute powerhouse at the beginning, while others can make for quite the challenging experience, similar to the Fallout series. And of course, pick yourself a fabulous turn-of-the-century fantasy name. After that, you're brought to your character skill sheet, where you'll get 5 skill points to place anywhere you choose. You can spend them now, save them for later, or select one of the class schemes which will take care of those skill points for you. I personally think you should take a little time and really look at all the skills, spells, and techs you can learn, as there are many options. Magic is a quicker way to power, with many powerful spells and abilities, and allows you to wield magical weapons and armor, but said equipment is hard to come by or expensive. Where technology allows you to create all kinds of useful items, from bombs to lightweight armors, and even guns that shoot lightning. You can also find hidden schematics around the world to make some really unique and powerful items. So give it some thought, or maybe make multiple characters trying different classes. Just before you start your quest, you should have 400 gold to spend at the shop to get some basic gear to start your adventure in Arcanum. You will be treated to 2 cutscenes laying the foundation of your story. You find yourself on a Zeppelin, traveling across Arcanum to the industrial city of Tarant, but it is shot down halfway through its flight. Somehow, you survive the crash and come across what seems to be a gnome dying. He requests that you find the boy and warns you of someone or something coming back to destroy everything and everyone. Then, a cloaked figure approaches you out of the smoke, and so begins your story. This leads us to game world and graphics. As you load into the game world, you will be greeted with that classic isometric view that is iconic to a lot of classic RPGs, with an art style similar to Fallout, minus the wasteland look. But ogres and half-ogres do remind me of super mutants from Fallout 1 and 2. The graphics are dated even for the year 2001. The male humans, half-elves, and half-orcs all seem to share the same sprites, and there is no visual way to tell them apart, other than looking at the icon next to their name and by story elements when talking to these characters. The same goes for the sprites of all female characters. The other races, elves, orcs, halflings, gnomes, and dwarves, do have their own style to them and are easily distinguishable from one another. The armors, weapons, and items in game look great in the inventory, but when you equip them, there is no uniqueness to them on your character, other than some palette swaps between different styles of the same armor. Which is not horrible, but it is disappointing. The graphics for spells and effects do their job and look quite well. Fireballs, lightning bolts, magical shields, and explosions look good, and the effects on NPCs are great with death animations to match. So the graphics aren't top tier by any means, but they do their job, and the story and the game mechanics make up for the shortcomings in the graphics department, in my opinion. The world itself is laid out quite well, with towns, villages, and cities being unique and have their own atmosphere. You will visit industrial cities, dying kingdoms, the mountain clans of dwarves, small port towns, and many more unique locations. There are plenty of places to explore and people to talk to, and I encourage you to do so. Next up on your plate is combat. There are 3 combat modes in Arcanum, but turn-based combat is the best way to play in my opinion. Real-time combat is chaotic and unmanageable, and it's easy to get your followers or yourself killed with so much happening at once. So again, I do recommend turn-based combat. It's your classic action point-based system, where your speed will determine how many actions you can perform on your turn, and certain actions have a cost. Quick tip: holding shift will allow you to stand in place while attacking. Useful for ranged characters such as gunslingers, rangers, spellcasters, and other items you might want to throw, such as grenades and bombs. Using comma will call shots to the head, period will call shots to the arms, and / will call shots to the legs. Something I didn't learn till years later. Also, friendly fire is a thing, so if you care about your followers, watch where you throw those explosive spells and bombs. Now, this leads us to game mechanics, followers, and story. As soon as you start the game, you are greeted by the first voiced NPC, Virgil, a priest and magical healer. And I will say, the voice acting in this game is superb.
By the gods! I cannot believe that the living one has been reincarnated in the body of an imbecile!
And I have even done playthroughs trying to get every voiced NPC in the game, since all followers are not voiced, but the majority of them are. They will fight by your side to the death in almost all cases, although they can leave if you upset them, such as being good and committing evil acts, and vice versa.
Hey, I don't understand why we're attacking such a decent type. I won't do this for much longer.
This goes for NPCs that are part of the main story as well. And depending on what kind of character you choose to play or become, some followers will not join you, similar to Fallout and Baldur's Gate.
No, you're just too damned evil for my tastes.
As well as the people in the world that will judge and react to you in different ways, depending on who you choose to be. There are so many factors that determine how the people of Arcanum will react to you. Your race, beauty, charisma, if you're good or evil, if you follow magic or technology, being intelligent or stupid. Although anyone persuasive enough can pretty much talk their way through any situation, or convince anyone to follow them. Or maybe you don't care what anyone thinks, and anyone who gets in your way is just food for your zombie army. It's your choice. The beauty of Arcanum is you really can be whoever you want. You can be the hero and help everyone you can in the most noble way possible. Or be chaotically evil and kill everyone you come across. It really is your choice, and in the end, you get to decide the future of Arcanum. One example early on is in the first town. The local sheriff, Doc Roberts, wants you to watch his back as some bank robbers are planning to rob the bank. You go in and help him kill said bank robbers and save the town's money, and you're seen as a hero. Then you can help another man, a half-orc named Jacob, who is outside the local pub, who has the combination to the bank safe. You can rob the same bank you just saved at night and split the gold, and you're still a hero of the town. Or don't split the gold and run out of town and become the villain. So you do get a vast array of options to complete quests in your own way. The main story is great and gets darker and more mysterious as the game progresses. Are you this great religious figure people are making you out to be? Is it all just luck you survived that blimp crash? Or maybe it would have been better if you perished in that crash, as you have become just a plague to Arcanum. It's your story, and just like in Fallout, at the end of the game, you will be told how your actions affected the world. If you're a fan of classic RPGs, especially Fallout and Baldur's Gate, it's definitely worth a try. If anyone is interested in giving it a try, it's available on Steam and GOG for as little as $5, and I would be happy to make an install guide so everyone can have it running at its best. There are a number of mods, patches, and custom modules that I can show you, so let me know in the comments if that's something you would like to see. As always, a big thanks to everyone for stopping by and allowing me to serve you my content. And I have to ask, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and please blow up that subscribe button for more delicious games, mods, and reviews.